Hey everyone, it's our season finale. I want to give a big thanks to all of our guests, partners, and most importantly, you, our listeners. We already have an exciting season 8 in the works with some amazing guests, but first, the Beyond the Plate team is going to take a short break. So please make sure you stay tuned by hitting that subscribe button on your podcast player or follow us on social media at BT Plate Podcast and at On Cappy's Plate. And Beyond the Plate would not be Beyond the Plate without the amazing team that brings this podcast to life. So a very special shout out to the best in the biz, Ian Cohen, Joel Yetton, Sean Petrosian, and Sarah McClellan-Me. Enjoy this week's episode. Let's do a little audio test. We test everyone differently. For Jacques Pepin, per se, we had him name 5 herbs. For Jonathan Waxman, we had him name 5 of his favorite farmer's market ingredients. So for you, I hear this thing where you use over like 200 spices or something in your spice cabinet. So can you name top 5 spices everybody should have in their spice cabinet?
I would say definitely Sarawak black pepper. I would put my favorite one, nutmeg. I'm French, so we cook a lot with nutmeg. So nutmeg, definitely. I will put clove for bouillon. I love to use that for the bouillon, the clove. There's 3 now. I love cinnamon. I cook with cinnamon a lot. And one last one, I would say, but turmeric is not a spice. Huh? Yes, it could be a spice, turmeric. I love turmeric.
You sound great. Let's rock. Hey everyone, I'm Cappy and you're listening to Beyond the Plate. This is a podcast where we sit down with the world's culinary elite to explore their journey into the food industry and the social impact they have made in their community. If you're new to the pod, welcome. If you listened before, we're glad you're back. We hope this episode inspires you to cook or possibly do some good today, as these chefs inspire us. And we're grateful to our partners who make this podcast a reality. With that, this episode is brought to you by us, our merchandise, otherwise known as merch.
Heard.
Hi, Ian. Everyone, our executive producer, Ian.
Hey, Cappy. Is this the same merch that I see Jacques Pepin wearing on his Instagram?
Why, yes, it is, Ian.
Same merch Wolfgang Puck has, and Michael Simon, and Rachel Wright.
Yes.
Wait. And me.
Yes, Ian. It's the same merch. We are a little biased, but we love our merch, and apparently other people do too. So if you want to check out our super soft t-shirts and hoodies and hats, all you have to do is go to beyondtheplatemerch.com. We'll also link to it in the podcast player that you are currently listening on right now. Again, that's beyondtheplatemerch.com. Enjoy this week's episode. I think that was perfect.
I kind of like that we did that.
That was great.
That was actually great.
Yeah. All right, go pick up your kids. All right, today's guest is a chef, restaurateur, author, TV personality, and father. He's one of the most influential chefs in Los Angeles and credited with igniting the pop-up restaurant phenomenon. At the age of 14, he trained in France for 12 years with some of the best chefs in the world before heading to the U.S. and starting to rack up a few accolades. You may know him from his food truck, Ludo Truck, his fried chicken concept, Ludo Bird, or from one of his award-winning restaurants. He's the author of 2 cookbooks and has been part of a number of TV shows, including The Mind of a Chef, ABC's hit cooking competition The Taste, Rat in the Kitchen, his web series Ludo à la Maison, and more. Please enjoy this episode as we go beyond the plate with my fellow father of twins, Chef Ludo Lefebvre.
Hello, everybody. Hello, ça va?
How are you, Chef? Congrats on the twins' 5th grade graduation.
Was great. Well, I finished in the hospital. My son hurt himself. I went to the hospital.
Oh, no. What happened?
He fell down the stair and opened his shin, had stitches, broke these legs. I mean, amazing.
Oh,
it was a good graduation.
Oh, my gosh.
It's life. You know that? It's life. It's okay. It's okay. It's the most important thing.
One of our twins rolled off the couch and had to get 2 staples in the back of his head. Yeah. So we're on the same track here, maybe.
You see? Exactly. But it's okay. The kids are okay. So it's good.
I love it. Good. All right, let's dive in. So you're 13, 14 years old. You're interested in becoming a chef. Your father's trying to talk you out of this idea. So he brings you to a local restaurant in Burgundy called Maxime, thinking you're going to hate it. Do I have this right so far?
Yeah, you're right.
All right, take us back to that day. Or that morning?
That morning when I arrived in the kitchen, it was very early in the morning. It was cold outside, dark. It was very early. And the chef was there alone. He make me come early before everybody and make me sit down in this office, this kitchen, and explain to me how it's going to be my week, what I'm going to do. And I think it was great. It was great communication. I know what to expect. He told me I'm going to peel potato, clean vegetable, help to clean the dishes, help to clean the kitchen. But I was okay with that. It was just like, yeah, great. I was very excited to be in the kitchen.
Were you nervous going into that day?
Yeah, definitely. I was very nervous. I didn't know what to expect. I never worked in the kitchen. I mean, I spent time in the kitchen with my mom, my grandma, doing bread, or my uncle. But I was never really in the professional kitchen. And at that time, the kitchen was not nice like now. It was a little more intense in the kitchen. The chef where I was going to work screamed a lot at people, crazy. It was crazy, scary. When you scare somebody, the chef at that time was always very scary. Yeah.
How long were you there?
I was there, it was just for 2 weeks. My dad was doing vacation, and my dad wanted to know if I'm going to like to cook. I mean, I love to eat and love to cook, but to work in the kitchen is little different. It's like to be in the army. At that time, it was like to be in the army, the kitchen life.
So was he expecting you to come out of there and say, I hate this, I don't want to cook, but you came out of there loving it?
I don't know why my dad don't want me to. I mean, it's not want me to be a chef, but he wants to make sure I'm going to like it to be a chef. I'm talking in the 80s, 1986, 87, something like that. So at that time, cooking was not like now. Like everybody now want to be a chef or whatever. At that time, it was not like that. He was a chef. Really, he was not popular like now. So my dad was surprised.
Did someone or something inspire you to want to be in the kitchen that young?
I mean, more my grandma, she was cooking a lot. And I think the most important thing is, as a kid, I love to eat. I just love to eat. It was really my thing, eating. I love it. Like when my mom was not working the weekend, I always ask her Friday night. I know she was not working. Mama, what we eat this weekend? What we to cook for me? I mean, I love to eat.
Did mom and dad cook, or was it mostly mom?
Just my mom and my grandma.
Were you in the kitchen at a young age?
With my family, with my mom.
Helping mom?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, doing bread, doing crepe. I mean, my grandma was very patient with me, and she take care of me a lot when my mom was working. So I was always with my grandma, and my grandma, she was home. She was always cooking for the family. She was a grandma at home. It was great. I spent a lot of time with her in the kitchen.
You did. So something great happened on April 18th. I'm not talking about our recent Beyond the Plate guest, Kristen Kish, getting married. I'm not talking about my birthday. I'm talking about your birthday. Is that right?
Yeah, April 18th. It's your birthday too?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Wow.
Yeah. Take us back a little more. I'd love this. To Burgundy, France in the 70s, like young Ludo. What were you into?
That time, Burgundy was really very peaceful, more than now, definitely. Things changed. But the lifestyle over there was very slow. People enjoy the weekend, people work the week, and you just, every weekend, you always invited people in your house or you invited somewhere. So every weekend I remember in my house, it was a big party in my house of somebody else's home. I love it. And but I love that time really, like when you see the adults really spending time together, drinking, and I was playing with my friend, my cousin. And at one point of the day, we all sit down together, a big table, and sharing food. I remember that it was great. I love it. I love the table setup with happiness and the fight. I mean, of course, you have fights. It's not always for the family who always fight together. I remember there was some big fight too. I mean, and happiness. That's life. I love this lifestyle. Like you work 5 days and you have 2 days weekend where you just party, enjoy life.
Were the big family dinners mostly on weekends, like you mentioned, or also throughout the weekend?
Every Sunday for lunch after church.
Do you remember first things you ever cooked? Was that like the bread and things like that?
Bread and crepe and a lot of baking, of course, in the beginning. I did not cook duck or stuff like that, lamb when I was young with my family. It was more baking, cooking steak sometime. But it was more, baking, crepe, bread, more stuff like that. But I love it. It was great. I just love it.
You started cooking, your first kitchen was 13, 14. You were still in school at that time?
Yeah, I was still in school. We call that an apprenticeship in France, an apprenticeship. And the apprenticeship is almost 3 years. But during 1 month, you spend 3 weeks in the restaurant and 1 week at school. It was cool. We call that an apprenticeship. So you can start that at 14 years old. It was great. I love it.
So that started at 14, the apprenticeship program.
Yeah, it was great. I love it. It was great. I love to be in the kitchen. I love it.
Wow. So you spent 12 years apprenticing or working with some of the best chefs in France.
Yeah, with Marc Menot, Pierre Gagnère, Alain Passard.
Is there anything you love about that? Or?
I love the discipline. I love to be a perfectionist every day. You want the meat to cut like that, You want the dish to be plated like that, cooked like that. I love like to be a perfectionist. I love that. I love detail. And when I was a kid, I love that. And I love the pressure. Still, it was not easy, of course, to be in the kitchen at 14 years old with 25 cooks. It was a lot of people, and I was the last one, the apprenticeship. So all the things they don't want to do, they give to me.
How long is that apprenticeship program?
It was 2 years and a half, 2 years.
Did you ever question if you were doing the right thing at any time during that?
No, I was very excited to be in the kitchen. I really love it. I didn't know what to do. I know I love to cook, but I did not know at that time if I want to have my own restaurant or work for somebody. I did not see my future yet in cooking, but I was doing that because I like it.
So in 1996, you moved to LA.
Moved to LA in 1996.
What brought you to that decision?
Just to see something different than French food and a different culture. I know we're going to say in America it's not very the culture for food or to come here, but as a young kid, I always want to come to work in America. I was obsessed with USA and I have a lot of opportunity to work in New York, in Chicago, LA, of course, San Francisco, and I picked Los Angeles because it was a very good French restaurant called L'Orangerie. It was a French restaurant and the owner was French. I met him in Paris and I was feeling comfortable. They make my visa. I was legal. I love it because sometimes you can go to work in different country but the visa is a little complicated at that time. But I was very legal. Everything was planned. It was great. I love it. I come to Los Angeles.
Did you have a certain expectation of LA, like from a culinary standpoint, or was it mainly L'Orangerie?
No idea what to expect about Los Angeles. I grew up watching American series and a lot there, in Los Angeles. And at that time, the series was very famous in France. It's called Baywatch. Everybody was watching Baywatch, guys. I was so excited to go to LA to see all this lifeguard, the lifestyle or whatever. It was the way I see LA. It was great doing this series, or TV series.
What were your hopes and dreams at that point? Were you going to go for a little bit, learn LA, go to another city, or did you intend to go back to France? What did you think?
I have no idea what to expect. And I love LA right away. Of course, after 6 months, I was in love with Los Angeles. And after the opportunity to be the chef at L'Orangerie, the head chef, after 6 months I was there, so I take the job. But I was thinking to stay like 2 or 3 years, maybe. I was young and I want to really travel around the world. And I get this amazing opportunity to be the chef at 25 years old in the Relais Chateau restaurant. And I take the job. And I was thinking to stay, like I said, 2 or 3 years. And I stay at L'Orangerie for 7 years.
On that flight over, did you already have that opportunity to start working at L'Orangerie, or did you go to LA not knowing where you were going to work?
Sorry, so when I came here, I already have a job. Like I was working at L'Orangerie. Yes, I have a job as a chef de partie. A chef, not chef yet, but chef de partie. I have a job. Visa, job, roommate, American roommate. It was great. It was everything was planned. It was good. Yeah, I was.
How old were you again at that time?
24.
24. Is there anything you wish you would have known before coming to the US?
Speak English better. I'm still now. I come here, I was not speaking English. I was a punk when I was young. I learned how to cook and I never really want to learn English. Why you want me to learn another language? And I don't know why I was so stubborn. I never studied very well English. And I came in America with not speaking English. It was great.
You had some of the best experience under your belt. Like what was going through your mind? Like did you come in like a young cocky punk or were you
young punk? Yeah, French, very French. Like I know everything about cooking. French people how we are, guys. We know everything. It was the best. I come to work in this fancy French restaurant and I was very proud. I worked very hard in my life for where I was at 25 and I was proud to go work in the very French fancy restaurant. But I was a little cocky, yeah, definitely.
You were at L'Orangerie probably from 96 to like 2002?
Yeah. 2-3, yeah, exactly, yeah.
This is crazy. So I was in culinary school. My externship was at Four Seasons LA, but I almost did my externship at L'Orangerie because it was on our list.
Really?
That would have been crazy.
That
I would have gotten yelled at from you or something like that. As a
I don't yell. I express myself. But I was so young at that time, 25 years old to be a chef. I take the opportunity, but it was a very strong responsibility. You don't realize how to manage a kitchen is very difficult, to be a leader, and it's not just cooking to be a chef.
It's interesting. We've heard that recently. Like Jonathan Waxman, we had this season. He was the original chef of Michael's. He was like 24.
Of course, yeah.
And then Brooke Williamson out there, she was like the sous chef of Michael's. She was like 19. She's like, I was young. I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
I was still 19 when I was become chef de partie with Michelin, but I was young. I understand. I didn't know if I want to continue to be a chef. It was just more fun than, I love cooking, don't get me wrong. I take my job seriously, but I didn't know at 19 or 20 I want to have a restaurant or stuff like that. I didn't know yet.
Where'd you go after lingerie?
I went to work in the restaurant called Bastide. It was a very high-end French restaurant also, and I stayed over there 4 years. Then after I went to Las Vegas, experienced Las Vegas. Oh, oui, monsieur. It was very interesting, I would say. All my life, I worked in frou-frou restaurant and very frou-frou, and I went to Las Vegas to work to open a concept restaurant. So actually, it was a good experience for me. I learned a lot about managing computers. All number, all these things I never learned how to do before. So Las Vegas was not very good experience for creativity, because when you put a concept together, you cannot change the menu. But it was a great experience for me, at 32 years old, to learn what is the American system, how Americans open more restaurants, and how they do that. I'm amazed with that, how you do in America, I guess. Because French people, we don't know how to do that like you guys.
You have the one and you perfect it,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. Exactly. You're right. Yeah, you're right. But I love also to develop a concept and to open more restaurants. It's very challenging too. I love to be consistent. It's hard. I have two same restaurants, Petit Trois. It's hard to have the same food in both locations. It's so hard. The plating or people do recipe. It's hard, but I learned that in Las Vegas. It was great. I worked with I opened a restaurant called Lavo in Las Vegas, and it was a great experience.
What's your favorite part about opening a restaurant? Like when you open a second Petit Trois, is that nerve-wracking for you? Is there a part that's exciting or is a part that nerve-wracking?
It's more about be exciting. And when you open a new restaurant, usually it's a different area. When I opened the second Petit Trois, it was in Chemin-Oaks in the Valley. And I was very excited to bring French food to the Valley because it was not a lot of French restaurants in the Valley. So I was very excited to bring butter to the Valley. I was, sharing all the food I like from France. So I was excited sharing and cook for people really and give happiness. That was very exciting, to give a smile to people. When people tell me, oh my God, I feel like in France here, that's the best reward. I want people to feel in France when they go to Petit Trois with the food, not with the service, okay? Yeah. The service in France is pretty rude. So I want to be, okay, guys.
I don't know. I think it's overrated.
I don't hire French waiter, guys. No,
I think it's overrated. I've been a few times that, everyone prepares you be careful. It could be so rude. But wherever we went, I feel like people were lovely. We skipped ahead a little bit. I'm curious about, so you have this idea at some point for Ludo Bites, this pop-up series before pop-ups were a thing, quite frankly. How did that come about? And what was the goal of that?
It was in 2007, 2008. Didn't know exactly what I want to do, if I want to open my own restaurant or work for somebody else. So I didn't know exactly what to do. I was starting to look for a location for a restaurant, and it was very difficult to find location. Still, it was a recession, but it was still very difficult to raise money. On 2007, 2008, it was very tricky time to raise money for a restaurant, and it was very difficult. And I was trying to raise money. And in the meantime, I was very bored on cooking. It took like 1 year, and I did nothing for 1 year to try to raise money to do my own restaurant. And I was so tired of not cooking. So I asked a friend of mine who has a French bakery called Bread Bar, and he was not using this restaurant the night. So I asked him if I can just use the restaurant the night to rent it to him. I said, I bring my food, I bring my team. At 3 o'clock is closing this restaurant for lunch, and at 5 o'clock is Ludo. So we're sharing the restaurant, and I was paying a rent, paying all my staff. So it was perfect during recession. Actually, we support each other, but it was good for me to just have a platform. I don't need to invest money really to cook, because in this restaurant I have everything, plate, silverware, a table, equipment for cooking. So it was great. It was just for me, just really to buy the food, hire some few waiter and some few cook, and just create this pop-up for 1 month here. And after we did 3 months, and after the concept was working very well, and I get a lot of press, and people was calling me after to do a pop-up with them. And I become after the pop-up chef, because I was doing to so many different restaurants, and it was a good model, good business, a model for me to express myself cooking, but also make a little bit money. was great.
I mean, you did 9, probably more of these pop-ups in LA. You did one in Hawaii, I saw, and you've crashed Open Table's website
Yes.
2 times.
2 times, yeah.
And you were booking 6 weeks of reservations in 47 seconds.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That's impressive. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why it was so popular, Ludo Bites, It was just all the time, it was a different location, different menu. It was really about creativity. And at that time, it was a lot of blogger too. So the blogger, we want the scoop. So they came a lot. I become friends with all the blogger. It was cool. Somebody come to your restaurant and the next day you're online. It was cool, but I like that. I mean, I like it. Yes and no. It depends. Sometimes the review not always good, but I like it. It was good to work with the blogger.
I was going to say, how do you stay grounded through all that?
I'm not a big ego guy. So I was doing my thing, and I was just so happy to cook for people. I did not realize too much the success. It was more my wife managing that. You feel good. I mean, you feel good. People want to eat your food. You feel good to give happiness to people. Yeah, you feel good. It's great. I was feeling reward. For all the work, all the years I worked very hard. It was great to see the line. In the restaurant. It was great.
So Pulitzer Prize winning critic Jonathan Gold, rest in peace, said this pop-up, by the way, I wore this shirt for you today.
Oh, that's cool, man. Thank you, Andrew. That's great.
That's my Jonathan Gold shirt. Only special occasions.
That's great. That's a good shirt.
Pulitzer Prize winning critic Jonathan Gold said this pop-up was, quote, a transforming moment in the Los Angeles restaurant scene. How did that make you feel?
I mean, great. I mean, it was a good thing. I was very creative at that time, and I have no pressure. No pressure, Cappy. You know what? It was we were not working, you're not busy. It's fine. I'm closing the door. I don't lose any money. Also, I was really expressing myself, cook the food from my heart, and I was very me at that time. It was great. I was not cooking for the critic because it was no pressure. I did not invest money, or I don't need to pay back money. So when you open up your own restaurant, your own money, you're scared to have a bad review or stuff like that because for business. Me at that time, I was just not scared of anything. It was great. So I think it really pushed my creativity and to be different. And I was putting French rap music over there, bumping over there. I mean, I love it. It was really something magical. I was putting French music rap. A lot of people putting rap now in the restaurant.
I wanted to say you were ahead of your time with that, but you weren't. It was the perfect time.
It was just the perfect time. It was just, what, Andrews, all my life I worked in the French frou-frou restaurant. I was thinking like a straitjacket, like to always do the same thing, Andrew. Or cook for the critic, cook for the news. I mean, just really need the best, and just I did not see exactly the wall. I was just behind this wall and my white jacket and just cooking French food or frou-frou. And when I became to do this pop-up restaurant, it was just not frou-frou. It was the opposite of frou-frou, and I realized I can cook cheap food and not too expensive, be affordable to everybody. It was a real pleasure. Before, all my life, I worked in fancy restaurant and it was expensive to go over there. And for the first time, I was reaching a different clientele. It was, also the fancy clientele too, but also a new clientele, young people. It was just so cool for me. I would just love it. I was so happy.
Speaking of critics and awards and all that, I want to talk for another minute about awards and accolades. And forgive me if I butcher some of these titles, but I want to rattle off some of these, and then I have a question. Bear with me. Prestigious Mobile Travel Guide 5-star award at 2 different restaurants. Trois Mec, twice named LA's best restaurant by LA Weekly. Petit Trois 2015 James Beard finals for best new restaurant and included in 2019 Michelin Gourmand. Both restaurants were included in LA Times 2018 101 Restaurants We Love list. You, a World's 50 Greatest Chefs by Relais Chateau. James Beard Award finalist for Rising Star Chef, Best Chef in the West, Best Culinary Program for hosting Mind of a Chef. And I'll stop here, but there's more. Featured in Esquire, Food and Wine, GQ, plenty more.
Yeah, it's good. We have a lot of awards.
Do we get it, everybody listening? Do we understand? What, if anything, do these mean to you?
I mean, what mean to me to get award? For example, when I get my first Michelin star, when I get a Michelin star at Trois Mec, I was very proud of me, very proud of my team. It was more the reward for my team because they work so hard for me. And I know I'm behind them, and sometimes I'm hard with them too, like very perfectionist. So I can be a little bit intense sometimes in a good way. So it was a reward is more for my team. We work very hard for me, and I respect that a lot. The reward I never win is James Beard. Always get James Beer. I never win James Beer. Just nominate, but never win James Beer. I think I'm too old now. It's too late.
Too many people that should have won James Beard.
Yeah, it's true, yeah. But I think the reward is more for the team. I'm happy for them. They work so hard and they're so proud after. And me, I'm happy because the reward is help for business. Definitely. I realized when I get my Michelin star, the business went up. It's true. The first 2 or 3 months, the business was much better. So a good review, reward really help for business. Everything help for business.
There is one that you can say you received that plenty of chefs have not received. And that was in December of 2015. You received the prestigious award from your home country.
Oh, well, I love this one. Yeah, you're right.
Of France.
Right, yeah.
This award honors those who've made an important contribution to the arts in France or to France's cultural and artistic legacy. It's the most significant arts-specific honor conferred by the French government. How does this one feel?
This one I was very proud. Seriously, I think it was my favorite. Seriously, to have an award from your minister and your president, and you be recognized by French government, all the French thing I'm doing for the country, outside the country, and so it was great. Really was very proud to be French.
I don't even want to try. Chevalier des Arts des Lettres.
Yeah, Chevalier des Arts. So you get this big award here, this big medal. It's so cool. A little thing to put in your jacket. So it's so cool. I was very proud of that. Seriously. I always forgot about this one. I don't know why, but I love this one.
Yeah. At what moment did you feel like you made it as a chef?
I think every day I did not made it. I'm 51 years old and I'm still looking for a new project to open new restaurant. I feel I did not make it yet. I don't think so. I give myself to cook until 65 or 70. Seriously, in the restaurant. Seriously, I just love it so much. I want to establish some few restaurants now, and after I can still want to go in the kitchen at 70, see the young people and stuff like that. So I think I made it when I don't need to cook anymore or just enjoy my restaurant. And now I'm still really involved with everything, and I love it. But I think I really made it. I would just come to the restaurant and say hi to the guests and say hi to the team and like to have my restaurant running without me.
How is Ludo the chef versus Ludo the TV personality versus Ludo the husband and father?
Do you have kids, Capi?
Yeah.
How many
I have 3-year-old twins.
What a bash. How are you busy too? I have twins too. You're going to be busy, Capi. But anyway, I did a lot of TV when I was young and I look a little bit intense on TV. I know that. I'm very intense when I cook. I'm very passionate and always look mad on TV because I do some mistake all the time on TV. I don't think so. I'm a TV chef for competition. It's too much pressure for me. It's too quick. I don't know. Anyway. But yeah, what was the question?
The difference with Ludo, the chef versus...
So I would say I'm not a TV chef. I'm not. I'm more like in my kitchen. And I get so frustrated on TV because I don't find the equipment or you just 1 hour to cook. And I love competition, but I prefer to do my own competition in my kitchen. You know what I mean?
Are you more calm?
I'm more calm. But now I'm more calm. I'm 51 years old. And the twins really calm me down. To have kids really teach me patience. Patience. You're going to see that. You're going to be patient. See, when you have twins, you have 2. It's hard. When you have 2 kids at the same time, it's hard. It's amazing, but it's hard. And that really teach me how to be more patient with young kids. Now I'm 51 years old. The cook I have in my kitchen, they're 20 years old. It's insane, Andrew. They can be my kids. My God. It's so crazy now. I hear them talking, go out, whatever. It really, but create me memory when I was their age. But the TV, I love TV because it brings business and I enjoy to manage the chef because manage the chef was really like teaching people and try to inspire people how to cook. I love TV like that. Competition, I'm doing that too, but just now just judging. That's it. I'm too old for competition.
Do you think the 20-year-old cooks in your kitchen teach you patience that translates to your home, or do you think more so your kids at home teach you patience that translates to the kitchen?
Interesting. I think I have more patience with, if you answer right, with my cook. Because I feel, my kids, I need to teach them about life, but I cannot give them a hard time if I don't teach them. So if they don't do a good job, it will be my fault because I did not train them enough. So I'm more patient with them. Sometimes I don't have the time to spend enough time with them in the kitchen when I feel bad. So when I go to teach them how to do it, I don't scream and say, no, I want it like that because it's very important for me to teach them the way I want the food. My kids, I need to teach them how to live. But God, they just answer back, my kids. The staff in the kitchen don't answer back. My kid answers back. They're 11 years old now. It's crazy. I'm afraid I'm going to be a teenager. But it's so much respect in the kitchen. So,
What one word would your kids use to describe you?
how do you say maniac? Attends. Like, I always clean everything behind themselves. How you call that in English? Like, I clean everything for them. It's crazy. They are just 11 years old. The kitchen when they cook, because they cook sometimes. Always cleaning the couch because there's so much thing on the couch, or their bedroom. I'm just cleaning everything for them. I don't know if I have a role for that, but I feel like it's crazy.
What one word would your sous chef use to describe you?
Props, I repeat a lot myself. So perfectionist. I love to make sure the food is perfect and make sure they understand what I want. It's very important for me to translate to them. So I will say, yes, really communication, perfectionist, something like that, yeah.
How about your wife? What word would she use?
French boy. Props.
Crazy. Yeah. Your kids cook a lot, you said? They into food?
My son, he still love to cook. He's cooking this egg sometimes in the morning, doing this omelette. It's good. It's good, this little boy. It's good. He loved to eat. It was like me when I was a kid. I really see myself in him when I was a kid. Like, really love. Lucas loved to eat. Like, he says, oh, papa, c'est bon. Papa, c'est bon. Papa, mort, c'est bon. It's crazy. I love to eat this kid. It's cool. I was very proud of my kid when they were like 7 or 8 years old. They eat a lot and everything. And now they don't eat everything. It's so complicated now. Capi, like, you just want pasta, pizza. I mean, still with a chef, I cook every day.
Ours are only 3, and I feel like they were starting to eat food and they were eating everything. I was like, this is amazing. And then they stop, and then they start, and then they stop.
And we're going to see after when the twins have different tastes. It's challenging too. You see, Gabi, you see.
Already, one of them loves, sweet things for dessert, loves the piece of chocolate. The other one thinks they want it. They take a bite, and one bite, that's it. They're done.
Yes, very interesting test.
All right, I want to touch upon giving back, social impact, and charity work. As I mentioned before we started recording, chefs are just so much more than a photo someone takes in your restaurant, a certain dish. And as you all can get, you can be invited to a different event every weekend, a different event in your city every week, and give away this dinner and this cooking class and, this and that. But I'm certain you've worked with a number of different causes or organizations. Can you touch upon some of that work that you do? I know you've done stuff with food banks and whatnot, but I would love for you to touch upon whether it's specific organizations you're welcome to share more about, what motivates you to give back also.
The foundation, I work a lot where when I do a TV show, they always give some money to an organization. I work a lot with the World Central Kitchen, with Rose Dangerous kids. I really love what they're doing. When we really need food right away, every occasion, everywhere in the world, when you have a need food for fit people, is Jose and his team, they're already on the field and they're so well organized. And it's amazing what they're doing. And during COVID, I work a lot with the World Central Kitchen for my restaurant, and it really helped me also to stay alive because I was doing every day 400 meals for people at the hospital, people at the church to help. And it really helped me to keep my staff and to keep the restaurant open. Yeah, it was great. I mean, both sides is great. You help them, they're helping you too. That's what's amazing. It was really amazing what World Central Kitchen did during the COVID. And what they're still doing now is crazy. To be in Ukraine or whatever, it's amazing. It's dangerous what they do. They may go fire, tsunami, or they're always everywhere. It's crazy. I don't know how they do that.
And you've done a lot with like food banks out there in LA and whatnot too.
Yeah, food banks. I went to pack the food with my kids and things like that. I always take my kids too.
Do you? I was going to ask you, do you instill that in them? That's great.
Do a lot of charity too, working with me, packing the food. We did a lot with the thing with homeless, with my wife during the COVID, and go with my kids, give them food, did a little letter for the homeless. I mean, we met some family, they're homeless. It was great. I want my kids to see that too. It's life. It's life. I want to learn about life. How
do you decide what event or how do you decide what you're going to give to or donate your time to?
First, Andrew, is looking at the schedule. Make sure the schedule I have time to do that. So when I do an event or do a charity event, whatever, I'll make sure I have time to really be involved 100%. So I look at my schedule first if I'm available. And after, it's really to see what the cause. I mean, all causes, they are great cause. I mean, CERSI is not bad cause. So why I'm going to do, what charity or how I decide that. The first one was reaching me. And most of the time I say yes, But sometimes now it's a little more difficult because staffing now is a little difficult in restaurant business. So to do an event now of 1,000 people or 600 people it's a lot of mise en place and a lot of staff to bring it to you. So a little challenging now. But most of the time, I mean, I do like, I would say maybe 6 charity every year. I try to do 6 events. If I can do 8, I do 8. But I try to have a minimum to do every year. So it's great. You feel good after that, To do some cooking is also, cooking for raising money and help people and sharing. So it's good to do charity.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that. Actually, you know what I want to do since this is our season finale? I want to say something that I say often during the podcast, during this part of the discussion, but there's multiple ways to give. It could be money, it could be your voice, and it could be your time. It could be $1 or $1,000 or $100, or it could be 30 minutes of volunteering a month, or it could be a social media post, whether you may have 100 followers or 1 million followers, but someone's seeing that message. So I always tell people, don't not do good for your community or cause you support if you don't have all the money in the world. There's a lot of ways to get involved.
Exactly. So. You can be involved, exactly. Because as a chef, it's amazing we can give our time like that. It's great to waste some money with the food.
Absolutely. All right, let's do a quick speed round and then we'll close it out with another question or two. Number 1, what did you have for dinner last night?
Oh, roasted chicken and potato.
Delicious.
It was good. Father's Day.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was good.
Happy belated Father's Day.
Too.
Name a smell in the kitchen you love.
Fresh bread, baking fresh bread.
Name a smell in the kitchen you hate.
Bleach.
What pisses you off in the kitchen?
Dirty kitchen.
Dirty kitchen. What makes you happy in the kitchen?
The cook when they smell like clean kitchen. Yeah, exactly. Like very organized and run very well. Like in the army. That's what makes me happy.
Name a go-to snack in your pantry.
Oh, cereal and milk.
Yeah?
I love cereal, Cheerios and milk. I love that. I love our cornflakes. So I love this thing. I eat that a lot in the afternoon. I love it.
How about summer grilling season? We're right here in the middle of summer. Do you grill a lot at home? Do you have any favorite things to put on a bun or a roll or anything like that?
I cook a lot. I love to cook burger, of course, on the barbecue. And I have a great setup in my house. So I grill a lot. And it's always nice in California. We're lucky. But definitely, I love to cook burger and fish taco, like fish taco. Do a lot of grilled fish taco. I love it.
All right. So on the homepage of your website, there's a quote that says, I started working in Michelin star kitchens at the age of 14. I spent 20 years learning from France's greatest chefs. I cherish my training and do my best to pass along this knowledge to everyone that works with me. It is my commitment to those who taught me. We've had a number of chefs on the podcast that say things like, I stand on the shoulders of those who stood before me, is what a couple of them have said. What do you hope that future chefs will say about you?
What I hope when I see all my chefs who work for me and now they start to be successful, get Michelin star, I hope they see me like some I really treat them like my protege. So I hope they're going to tell I inspire them a lot in their life, but also in their cooking. And I hope they think about me all the time. They create a recipe. I feel a lot about my chef when I cook. Still, after the 20 years, 30 years, I'm still remember what my chef teach me, and I feel like they're next to me sometime, like critique me or whatever. I feel they're going to feel like that. Like I'm with them all the time for creativity and support. And yeah, I want them to see me as their mentor, First to teach somebody. I love to teach. So my first job is really to teach. I love to teach my cook, people. It's very important for me to pass all my knowledge and teaching.
Finally, Chef, what is next for Ludo? Some people are like, oh, nothing, I don't want another restaurant. And we've had this conversation during the past hour or so, and it's interesting. You come from that background of one restaurant in France or perfecting that one, and now you came here.
One restaurant, that's it.
Yeah. And then you learn growth and business and all this stuff here. So more restaurants, more.
I always say I want to have one restaurant and be over there in my restaurant every day. Like my old chef, like Marc Menot, he have one restaurant and it was amazing. But life changed now, and I have kids to take care. I'm 51 years old, but I still want to do my dream restaurant. I did not open my dream restaurant yet.
What is it?
It's more like a chic South of France restaurant. I love the food of South of France. Grilled vegetable, olive oil, grilled meat, grilled fish, tartare, raw, colorful, crudité. I love this food in South of France. I love that. And that's the restaurant I want to create. And I'm working on that now to open my first South of France restaurant. Because Petit Trois is more heavy food, more like food, Burgundy, Paris, a little bit Carcassonne. There's a lot of butter. We love butter, but it's butter. Okay, I want to do something more light. People love it, but I want to do a restaurant more light, more California French. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Yeah, and reopen my Michelin star restaurant. I'm going to open it. Yeah, I miss it.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I miss it so much. It's crazy. I was thinking I will be done. I'm 51 years old. I said I'm going to be done with a Michelin star or whatever restaurant. And you know what? No, I just miss it. I grew up with that. I learned that. And it's in me. I need to open my fancy restaurant.
Yeah, there's something about being raised or taught in the fancy restaurant and learning that, like you said, like the precision and the technique and all that. And then, maybe loosening up a little bit and opening something a little more casual, and it sounds fun. And then you want to go back and...
Yeah, because I was thinking I was finished with that after COVID. I closed it during COVID. And I said I'm done with that. And I miss it. I miss it it's crazy. It's on me. I need to. So I'm working on that now also, to reopen Trois Mecs restaurant and work on Ludo restaurant, my dream restaurant. Ouais, ça va. And make Petit Trois better every day, because it's hard. Also to be consistent. Be creative. Capi is very easy, but to be consistent is so hard.
That's the hardest thing. I say that to everyone. I remember over 20 years ago when I was in school, I had this incredible marketing professor. And I tell this story to everyone when they say, how's this place busy? How's that place busy? I say, they're consistent. The food may not be the best, but you know what you're going to get every time.
It's so hard not to do that. It's so hard, yeah?
All right, Chef. I appreciate your time. It was awesome to chat. And hopefully next time I'm in LA, I'll pop by one of the spots.
Yes, please, let me know. I will be very happy to cook for you. Please,
awesome.
Okay?
I love that. Thank you.
Thank you, Capi.
Appreciate it. Have a good day.
See you too. Bye-bye.
Thanks again to Chef Ludo Lefebvre. Find more on him at ludolefebvre.com. That's LUDOLEFEBVRE.com. To learn more about World Central Kitchen, go to WCK.org. We'll share a link to those websites in the episode notes and at BeyondThePlatePodcast.com. Find me and keep up to date with this podcast across all social media at On Cappy's Plate, or go to BeyondThePlatePodcast.com. Beyond the Plate is also on social at BT Plate Podcast. This episode was produced by myself, along with Ian Cohen, Joel Yetton, Sean Petrosian. Our digital media producer is Sarah McClellan-Mead. Our music has been composed by Goldford. Find him at iGoldford. As always, special shout out to my wife, Katie. If you have a moment, we'd love and appreciate it if you could rate or review and subscribe to this podcast on your listening site of choice. Thank you for listening to Beyond the Plate. I'm Cappy, and remember, there are never too many cooks in the kitchen.